A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. When the days were completed for their purification, according to the law of Moses, they took him up to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. When they had fulfilled all the prescriptions of the law of the Lord, they returned to Galilee, to their own town of Nazareth. The child grew and became strong, filled with wisdom, and the favor of God was upon him. The Gospel of the Lord. Good morning, and again, Merry Christmas. Today we celebrate the feast of the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And we have once again the opportunity to reflect upon the dynamics within the relationship of that family between Mary and Joseph, their relationship with their son Jesus, and how Jesus related to them, of course. I think that we might make a mistake as we contemplate the Holy Family, especially when we look at very beautiful renditions of the Holy Family in art. Often we see magnificent nativity scenes and pictures of perhaps the child Jesus in the home in Nazareth with Joseph the carpenter, and it all looks rather wonderful and perfect. In fact, I once heard a priest give a homily where he said something like, imagine what it was like in the Holy Family, where Jesus grew up in a perfect family situation. And I don't really agree with that kind of a view. I don't think that the Holy Family was perfect, perhaps sinless, but certainly not perfect. We are reminded of that, I think, today in the Gospel, in the longer form of the Gospel today, when Mary and Joseph take the infant Jesus to the temple and they meet Simeon and Anna. And Simeon prophesies about Mary that a sword will pierce her heart. And we know that that's not literal, but she, in other words, experienced some kind of anxiety, pain, maybe distress in her own life as the mother of Jesus. And I have no doubt that St. Joseph shared in that same pain or grief or stress. That's to say, I believe the Holy Family was a pretty normal family, just like the rest of ours. And as I think about my own family, and this year is the first year that I am, you might say, orphaned, in that my father passed away this past July, and my mom's been gone for about 5 years. And I was thinking recently about, growing up in a family where they had 6 children, living in a row house in Baltimore City with 1 bathroom. And it wasn't always perfect. My parents had their faults, as did their children. And there were some difficult moments. That's pretty normal. Sometimes kids don't get along with their parents. Sometimes they're a bit rebellious. Sometimes parents are perhaps short in their ability to take care of their kids in the way that they should do so. And I believe that probably if your family was anything like mine, there were moments when through trial and struggle, there was a learning, and people became actually better people by learning from their mistakes, as they say. I don't think the Holy Family of Joseph, Mary, and Jesus was much different. Oh, certainly graced by God. Jesus was the Son of God, and certainly probably was a very righteous young man and child to his parents. However, we remember that Jesus was born in a stable. That itself is stressful. Jesus went to Jerusalem with his parents when he was 12 years old and got lost. Mary was a little bit perturbed. And then, of course, later we see that Jesus, in his preaching and his ministry to other people, announcing the good news, ends up in Jerusalem, where he is arrested and scourged at the pillar, crucified, and dies. I'd say that was a pretty serious sword that pierced the heart of the Blessed Virgin Mary. So what are we to learn from this? I think that if we try to model ourselves after the relationships that they had, we probably should first recognize that if we are trying to do God's will in our lives, especially in our family lives, and you might know that better than me, as I am not a parent, but I think that if we try our best to learn from those moments when things just don't seem to be going right, when life isn't perfect, when people go through difficult moments of trying to figure out what the next step is within the family, etc., etc., I don't think we need to beat ourselves up and say, oh, if we were just like the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Because I think that they too, Jesus being fully human, suffered probably in similar ways that we have. It's all about growth, maturity, and becoming the people we're supposed to be. Jesus was fully human, we believe. And because of that, we believe he experienced every possible situation, feeling, learning moment, etc., that all of us have gone through. But what's the difference? What is the difference? The difference is that Mary was committed right from the start to be obedient to God's will, as was Joseph. And of course, Jesus had a mission to fulfill, which we believe he did so wondrously, as he embraced the will of God the Father, as he was born into this world in a stable. He lived the life of an itinerant preacher. He brought the good news to others, and he paid a heavy price for speaking the truth. And of course, that's what we're called sometimes to do ourselves. We learn these things as we grow and work together as families. So may the Holy Family actually inspire us, not by their supposed perfection, but may they inspire us because they too were real people with real issues, growing and maturing in a real world that caused them to need to respond to the situations of their time. As we prepare to celebrate for the new year, let us recommit ourselves to being a people who are holy and faithful and families who witness to the presence of God by the way they relate to one another and to others. Let us be grateful for the blessing of the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And today, as we celebrate this feast day, let's once again rejoice, because for us a Savior is born and we are redeemed. Happy New Year, my friends. Let's encourage one another with our faith, and let us walk together as family, as children of God, always striving to do the will of the Father, who loves us more than we can possibly imagine. Happy New Year, and have a great day.